Good afternoon. Are the judges ready? The timer? The opposing team? Quote, "They who give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." Benjamin Franklin. This statement was the backbone behind the founding of the United States. The founding fathers had left the safety of the English Empire to obtain freedom from the monarchy. That is why my partners Andrew Golden, James Sasser, and I, Trey Harris, stand for the resolution that the federal government should substantially curtail its domestic surveillance. Observation 1. Definitions. In order to make sure that we are on the same page for this debate round, I'll define some key terms we will hear and use in our round today. All sources are Merriam-Webster, unless stated otherwise. Surveillance. Close watch kept over someone or something. Domestic. Of, relating to, or originating within a country, and especially one's own country. Violate, break, or disregard. Executive orders, an order having the full force of the law issued by the President of the United States to the Army, Navy, or other part of the executive branch of the government. Dictionary.com. CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation. Patriot Act, an act to deter and punish terrorist acts in the United States and around the world to enhance law enforcement investigatory tools and other purposes. Congress.gov. Observation 2. Harms. Now that we have covered our important terms, let's look at the major problems that exist with the status quo. Harm A. Domestic surveillance is a threat to American democracy. Quote, "This act, or the Patriot Act, has several long-term implications leading to a reduction in the quality of American democracy, which subsequently affected other liberal democracies around the world through violations of basic democratic principles or civil liberties, such as due process, physical attacks, and freedom of speech." Madison Wadsworth. The inherent freedoms provided by living in a democracy fall under attack each day that the Patriot Act is in order, because it not only takes away the freedom from search and seizure, but the agencies that can use the words we say in private against us in the court of law. Harm B. The government's domestic surveillance program violates the innocent civilian's personal privacy. In referring to the Patriot Act, Peter Swire, a professor of law and a member of President Obama's Review Group on Intelligence and Communications Technology, said, "The Patriot Act went far and beyond technological updating, and I think it was passed in the heat of the moment and went too far." Even today, the Patriot Act is utilized to record and track almost every American citizens make through computers, actions that they make through computers. Harm C. Domestic surveillance. Surveillance, especially the Patriot Act, are a direct opposition of the Fourth Amendment. Quote, "I cannot imagine a more indiscriminate and arbitrary invasion than this systematic and high-tech collection and retention of personal data on virtually every single citizen for purposes of querying and analyzing it without prior judicial approval. Surely such a program infringes on that degree of freedom that the founders enshrined in the Fourth Amendment." Judge Richard J. Leon. Observation 4. The plan. The affirmative team plans to solve these problems by abolishing the Patriot Act. The mandate will state no agency is allowed to push domestic surveillance on a civilian without a probable cause. Enforcement will be provided by the local police, and punishment for all suspects found guilty of domestic surveillance without probable cause will be fined $1,000 and sentenced to 2 years in jail. The funding will be budgeted from taxes. Observation 5. Advantages. Advantage A. Enacting the affirmative plan will allow for a country to follow the Constitution with better accuracy. The Fourth Amendment gives the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. It shall not be infringed, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. The Patriot Act, among other associations, is effectively ignoring the right of privacy, but abolishing those institutions gives people their rights back. Advantage B. Government search and seizures would be better regulated. The way the institution is run right now, any investigators may do any research on anybody they please, causing mass confusion in terms of mass information. If the investigators require a warrant before conducting a search, the pile of information would be more concentrated and less chaotic. Advantage C. If the investigation agencies were regulated better and had less access to personal information, there would be less unlawful imprisonment. Quote, "Regretfully, in 6 separate cases this year, the mistake was not realized and action was taken by the police forces/law enforcement agencies on the data received. All of these cases were requested for internet data. Regrettably, 5 of these errors had very significant consequences for 6 members of the public who were wrongly detained accused of crimes as a result of the errors, Sir Paul Kennedy. As you can see, the intentions behind these agencies and laws were decent at first, and the reality is that they harm people in ways that were not initially considered. So we should stick to what we know is right and what our founding fathers knew was right. Therefore, my partners Andrew Golden and James Sather and I, Trey Harris, urge the judge to vote for the resolution the federal government should substantially curtail its domestic surveillance. Thank you, and I stand ready for cross-examination.